I'm Tom Cash. I'm the founder of the Student Partner Alliance. So we got started in 1993, and the mission of the organization is to provide scholarships and mentoring for high school students who are in the inner cities of New Jersey. In Newark and Jersey City, Elizabeth, Bayonne, and East Orange are some of the areas that we're focused on. Many of you know that the educational systems, the public education systems in these cities are not the best. They're not as good as they could be. And so we provide opportunities and choices for students in private schools that exist in their neighborhoods. And we select the students just based on their financial need. It's not a best and the brightest program. It's for those kids who need the financial support in order to be able to attend the school of their choice. The objective is to make sure the student can get through high school and get the kind of grades and test scores that will enable them to be admitted to college. 95% of our students go on to college, and we're really proud of the accomplishments that they make in what is a very, very difficult environment.
I'm Emmett Daly. I'm the president of Student Partner Alliance, and I welcome you to the Visual Arts Center of Summit. We are a nonprofit organization. Our focus is education and mentoring to at-risk kids in our inner cities of New Jersey. We do that through a unique mix of scholarships in which we work with 8 schools. What we do is we offer scholarships for kids to go to one of those 8 schools, and then we also offer a unique component in addition to the scholarship. For every kid that goes to one of those schools, we assign them a mentor. And that mentor agrees to stick with that kid for 4 years throughout their high school and act like a big brother, big sister. And that combination of better education, a little more discipline, a little more structure, and that mentor has an incredible success rate. So we're very pleased, we're very proud of what we do. We thank everybody who's participated for years and years and years. I've got the honor of introducing the first one, Bob Sandoz. He is a Franciscan priest. He is the president of Christ the King Prep in Newark. He has an extensive background in education, in urban ministry. He's a wonderful speaker. He's a great guy. He runs a tight ship down in Newark, and I know you'll enjoy him. So a little round of applause.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to begin by thanking Margaret Momber and her staff for inviting me to this evening. Thanks also to the members of the Board of Trustees. I am honored to be here and to have this opportunity to share with you just for a few moments some of the experience in what I consider to be the greatest gift of my life, inner city education. It is a rare thing in the life of a priest that he's engaged with what is hot in the news media. But the airwaves are filled with news that touches my life every day. The inner city events of last summer, extending through the fall and now this week in Baltimore, are very much a part of my life. And I'm sure that many of you have heard the various commentators reflect on these experiences of these past months, that this is more a matter of race or ethnicity, but the underlying issue truly is that setting our cities on fire is poverty. The scenes that flash upon your TV screen are variations on a theme that's played out in every state of our union, and New Jersey is no exception. The real scourge of poverty is that it robs people of hope. And when lives are lived in a grinding poverty, long-time plans are ours. And events that are a nuisance for us, like maybe a cell phone dies or the car won't start or there's an injury at work, these are events that can completely destabilize an already weakened family system. And so with these kinds of immediate survival needs looming over them, urban families move education and learning to very low places in their priority scale. Often when you and I think of poverty and of a community of need, our thoughts turn to things. We think first of housing. We think of transportation, having a car. Think of clothing and food. And truly these are needs, and they are very real. But relief that is brought to these needs can mean the difference literally between life and death. But urban poverty is much more than that. Certainly for all of us here, as we think about urban poverty, healthcare comes to mind. Prenatal and child healthcare are areas that are often neglected. And education. Now, before I speak of schooling, let me speak about education in general. For sometimes the urban setting is not rich with learning opportunities. Libraries, beautiful museums, live theaters, and such cultural treasures are absent. And that deprivation is deep and lasting. Now, I don't think I have to say anything to you in this room tonight about schooling in the inner city. For everyone in this room is well aware of the plight of urban learners today. Not a single aspect of urban schooling escapes our awareness or our concern. We often hear it said that one is either part of the solution or a part of the problem. Here is exactly where the Student Partner Alliance is part of the solution. There is no exaggerating the positive impact that scholarship funding has on the lives of inner city children. As I mentioned before, this financial assistance, without exaggeration, is the difference between life and death. And the financial peace provided by the Student Partner Alliance makes it possible for children to move out of that immediate sense of their world to actually realistically consider a future. And that's huge. But what I call the secret sauce of the Student Partner Alliance is mentoring. Part of the culture of poverty is a poverty of association. Often the inner city student is unaware, they're kind of clueless of the need to constantly watch for the details, follow through on the tasks, meet the deadlines, check in with your counselors, and accurately complete any forms, manage all of the unexpected things that probably are going to arise. It's the mentor. It's the mentor who is there to kind of steady the waters. It's the mentor who is there to provide the pre-queuing to the student for the upcoming project, or that's due in a month, or maybe to help them in their preparation for SAT or ACT tests. Remember what I said. In this environment, long-range plans are an hour. So to say to an urban student, oh, your project is due in 3 weeks. Well, that means I have to think about it the night before. So it's the mentor who can help break down that project into sort of bite-sized pieces and help the student to successfully complete that project in a timely manner. I don't suppose any of us adults here tonight have forgotten how insecure we felt as teenagers. And that has not changed. It is the mentor who speaks that word of encouragement. It's the mentor who speaks those invaluable words of confidence and courage. You can do this. It's the mentor who is gifted with the ability to say those life-changing words, I believe in you. I'm not sure how many of you have read the David Brooks article in the New York Times this morning. But Brooks is arguing that money spent as a single solution to solve the problems of urban education is ineffectual. How dramatically he makes his point as he features, that Sandtown, Winchester area of the city of Baltimore. He draws upon that as an example. Huge resources were invested, and nothing has changed. And so this is what he observes. Brooks writes, saying we should just spend more money doesn't really cut it. What's needed is a phrase shift in how we think about poverty. For renewal efforts in the Sandtown Winchester prioritized bricks and mortar. But the real barriers to mobility are matters of social psychology. The quality of relationships in a home and a neighborhood that either encourages or discourages responsibility, future-oriented thinking, and practical ambition. Brooks clearly articulates for us the very reason that all of us are in this room tonight. He makes clear to us that the core of any reform is relationship. Now, I imagine as I look out at you, many of you in this room tonight are business people. And in your world, you work very, very hard to achieve win-win. In your business dealings, you strive to negotiate that deals will benefit your client and benefit your business. Let me welcome you to the Student Partner Alliance. This is better than any business deal because this is a win, win, win. You might know that in this project, our entire society, the very fabric of our culture, wins. You are mentoring, and it prepares young urban learners to successfully complete their high school education and to move forward in a positive and productive manner to the university or to the world of work and gainful employment. That's a win. In this project, a student wins. A young boy or girl who did not have the wherewithal to even complete the 12th grade is set on a path of success. The young person is given the opportunity, through their relationship with a mentor, to permanently change the trajectory of their lives. And so they can move from a sense, the student, from, ooh, I couldn't do that, to get out of the way, here I come. And that's a win. And in this project, the mentor wins. Oh, I know you're thinking that if you jump in on this project and you'll be giving something to these students. And you will. But be prepared, because you're going to get out of this experience infinitely more than you give. Now, as you look at me, I am not a young man. And I can tell you that this, in my experience, directly and indirectly with others, when you enter into a service such as this, it is an embarrassment because you get so much more out of it than you ever give. And that's a win. I'd ask you to please get to know the mission and the vision of the Student Partner Alliance. I ask you to consider becoming a mentor. It's an experience that will enrich your life in ways that you cannot imagine. You will be drawn into a beautiful, exciting, and wonder-filled world of opportunity and joy. And if you are a mentor now, I invite you, turn in your friends. Sometimes our friends just don't exactly know what they need. And you can help them. You can invite them into this wonderful experience. Helping a young man or woman to grow and develop, to realize their potential is something that will enrich your life or your friend's life forever. And again, I want to thank the leadership of the Student Partner Alliance for the partnership that we share together. Personally, I'm very aware that I'm under no false impression that what we're doing in Newark at Christ the King Prep, that we could ever reach our goals alone. It is only by joining together that real long-term impact is going to be realized. So I thank you for your kind attention tonight, and I ask you to sincerely consider becoming a member of this organization, because it will change your life and it will change the life of many young people to come. Thank you.
Thank you. you, Father Bob, for that brilliant presentation. Very motivating. I'm Margaret Momber. I'm the Executive Director of Student Partner Alliance, which is a great honor for me to be part of this organization as well. And now I'm thrilled to be able to introduce Tiwan Floyd, who's one of our students, who's kindly come tonight to speak to us about his experience at Christ the King. He's a senior now, and we are very proud of him, and he has something very special around his neck.
St. Peter's. It's the college I'm going to next year. As you guys can see, I'm very nervous. But I'm here today to talk to you guys about what the mentorship has meant to me and how it's changed my life. Being an inner city young man in Newark, I didn't expect to graduate from high school, because the things that I saw while walking home from school, while being in the areas of danger, I didn't think I would be able to make it out. But Christ the King, along with the SPA mentoringship, helped me a lot. My mentor is actually here today, Ted Kuntz. He's been a great part of my life. He was like the father that I never had. My mom, growing up, my mom taught me, like, right from wrong. She taught me to always have manners no matter where I go. But the things that I saw growing up as a young man in Newark, even with all those values and morals that she taught me, I still didn't think that it would be enough to make it out. And now I've made it. And I'm really glad to say that it was because of the SPA program, Ted Kuntz, along with my mom and the administration and teachers at Christ the King. I'm graduating this year with I believe a 2.7. It's not the greatest, but I made it. And I've grown up. I'm the middle child of 3 brothers, 3 sisters. Coming up, I lost my brother at a very young age. He was the most amazing man I've ever had the pleasure of knowing. He was a football player headed to Penn State the September before his death. And I was young. I didn't really know what death meant at that age. I kind of thought he was going on a long vacation. That's what they told me. But after a while, I grew up and I understood that I would never see him again, and I would have to be what he would have been, and do what he would have done with his life with mine. Then, when I finally did get to high school, I was surprised that I actually got into all of the high schools that I applied to, but I did it. And I chose Christ the King, one, because it was close, the closest school that I got accepted to, and 2, because of the work program. I felt that the work program would help me, it would give me another sense of what's really out there in the world, and I would meet people that could change my life and that could, influenced me and helped me get to my destination. But sophomore year, I lost another brother, one of the three, to the same exact way. And I gotta admit, I felt like giving up. But this was about the middle of the year, and Mr. Kuntz came to me, and we met, and we had a nice talk about his high school and his college experiences, and what he did to pull through, and what he had to do to, make it out of that situation and get to where he is today. That really, I don't think he knows how much it meant to me for him to share that experience with me. I was so close to giving up. Like, I just wanted to leave school and have nothing to do with my education or anything else, because losing two brothers in the span of 8 years is serious. But thanks to Mr. Kuntz, thanks to my mom and the administration at Christ the King, I got that mentorship that I was looking for, that mentorship that my brothers gave me when I was younger. I found a way to pull through and, make it to my junior year, which was pretty good. I had fun my junior year. I'm glad that I met the people that I've met today. I'm glad that Father Bob is a big influence in my life. I'm glad that Ted Kuntz took the time out of his, I'm pretty sure he has a very busy schedule to, come into my life and influence me so well. Mentoring is a great way to change a person's life. It gives them, especially inner city kids, because we come from literally the bottom, and it's hard. Like, you see things as an inner city kid, you see things that not the average person sees, and it's not the worst, but it's far from the best. And seeing that stuff kind of makes you give up. It dishonors you, I guess. That's the word I'm looking for. I'm sorry, but it takes away your pride and your hope. And meeting people like you guys here today, meeting people like Father Bob in those schools that, have great administration and great teachers. Meeting future mentors, people that actually want to see you succeed in life, and people that want to see you make it to the top, is a life-changing experience. And I really, really, really hope that you guys will take the time out of your lives to mentor someone that comes from the bottom and help them get to the top. Thank you.
And we're very lucky that we have a longtime partner who would like to speak to us tonight about being a partner, being a mentor, and what that's meant to her.
Thank you for your remarks. Those were wonderful, and you are certainly a credit to Christ the King and an amazing story. I'm going to be quick. I know that every partner in this room is going to have a similar story to this, so I'm just going to share with you my individual case, but I think everybody here who's a partner will recognize themselves in some of these remarks. We know that numerous studies confirm how vital mentoring can be. You've heard about it this evening, especially during teenage years. Those years, kids are at a crossroads. They are at turning points every day. They've got all sorts of pressures, all sorts of difficulties, and you can tell from the stories we've heard tonight that the kids in the inner cities are carrying burdens that are even greater. Add in social media, and it is a volatile, volatile time. So I think mentoring is a critical component to keeping kids at risk on the straight and narrow. But when I thought about being a mentor, on the one hand, I know it's effective. I know it's important, but on the other hand, I was nervous. It was going to be a big time commitment. Did I know how to do it properly? Well, I'm here to tell you that SPA, Student Partner Alliance, sets up this mentoring relationship to succeed from the beginning, to be effective from the beginning. I was partnered with Asia. She was a student at Marist, and I met her 4 years ago. I met her as a very, very shy 14-year-old at a Marist breakfast that Student Partner Alliance would hold. I was a very shy 56-year-old. Because I've raised 3 boys, and teenage girls to me are a species that I don't know. But she was so soft-spoken, but so sweet, and only 14, and I learned that very first day she had a dream, and she wanted to go to medical school. And so we were off and running. And because of the SPA program and the way it's set up, our relationship grew easily and organically over the 4 years. I become now, 4 years later, I'm a resource for her. I'm a coach for her. I'm a cheerleader, and I'm a confidant. And because it is a two-way relationship, she's a cheerleader for me, and she's a confidant for me. But it wasn't always that way. I would say freshman and sophomore year, our relationship was sort of a slow burn. But as we got to know each other, it grew and grew. And by the time she hit junior year and senior year, we're fast friends. And I really am grateful that she's in my life. I want to let you know that being a mentor through SPA, in fact, isn't that hard because of the way it's set up. Yes, I write a check once a year. That's a pleasure to do, and I know how vital it is to keep these kids in these wonderful schools. Twice a year, I meet Asia at a breakfast. I walk in, Asia walks in, the bagels are there, the coffee's there. It's all set up for me. The logistics are covered, and we get to do what's important. We get to start talking right away. How are you? How are things going? There's a breakfast in the fall, a breakfast in the spring. We've been doing it every year. It's part of the rhythm. That's how we check in. Once or twice a year, I would go with Asia to one of the special events that SPA sets up, a holiday party or a community service event. Again, logistics are covered. I show up, Asia shows up, and within 2 or 3 minutes, we're digging in a garden, and we're talking, and we're checking in. And how are things going? How's that class? How's that drama you told me about with those 4 girls? What's going on with your little sisters? A natural, easy, organic relationship. It's easy to build that when you're working with SPA. Some of these events are short and sweet, but they're each fundamental. They're each pieces of the building that you're putting together. 4 times a year, I open my mail. Well, I open my mail every day, but 4 times a year, 4 times a year in the mail would be Asia's grades. Perfect time to look at things, see how they're doing, and to send a text. Texting is the tool of mentoring that is the best of all. How are you doing? Got your grades. I'm so proud of you. You're doing so well in physics. I can't even believe that. What's going on with history? And she would text back, I'm having a trouble with the teacher, and I don't understand it. So it would be an exchange, 5 or 6 exchanges. Go talk to him. I'm sure he wants to help you. You can do it. You'll be fine. And once a month, I set an alert on my phone to send in a random text. I'm thinking of you. How's things going? Everything fine? I know you're busy. You don't have to answer me right now, but you do have to answer me. I want to know how you are. I care. I don't know if it occurred to her that she was getting texts on the 15th of the month every month, but that's when they were. So that's kind of the basics. If you can write a check, go to a few breakfasts, dig in the dirt once or twice, send some texts, and care about a child's grades, and send that messaging through. That kind of support means a world of difference to all of these kids. There are opportunities to do way more than that, but at the very basics, that very basic level, that would be a huge step. Other things happened between Asia and me that grew out naturally from our relationship. She asked me if I would be a job reference. Well, of course. Bed and Bath called one afternoon, very happy to give her a glowing recommendation. She asked me if I would write this past year a college recommendation. Of course, easy for me to do. And last year, getting ready for her junior summer, because she wanted to go to medical school, working with Steve Busby, we found an internship for her in a medical facility, which was really a critical thing for her to put on a resume and to be able to write about. She worked in a woman's clinic, and she texted me one day, I saw a baby being born today. And it was just a wonderful, life-changing thing. And I want to tell you that to get ready for the interview, to get this internship, I know all the schools do a wonderful job of interview prep. They really do. But Asia wanted to do a little more. So I went to Marist, and we found a corner, and we role-played, and we asked questions and things. And then I said, okay, now you're ready for the interview. Let's talk about when you walk in the door. I want you to have her name, the person you're interviewing, in your head, ready to go, and you're going to shake my hand, and we walk through the whole thing. And then I stopped her. I said, Asia, we have to work on the handshake. And she rolls her eyes. I said, no. You can't. Firm handshake. Look me in the eye. Smile. She, again, rolls her eyes. She goes, Mrs. Funk. I said, no, firm handshake. Asia, this is your handshake for the rest of your life. This is your handshake. So she just tolerated me. And a few days later, I drove her to her interview, and I'm waiting in the parking lot with a book in the car. And an hour later, she throws open the door, and she lands in my passenger seat, and she said, oh, she was wonderful. I think I'm going to get the internship. It was great. Thank you. She really liked my handshake, which was great. Along the way, I've had a chance to meet her little sisters and her mom. I've been to her home in Newark for her birthday. Next week, I'm going to get to go photograph her in a prom dress, and I'm looking forward to graduation. So the relationship is definitely a two-way street, because as I'm doing these things for her, I'm the recipient of birthday wishes and Christmas wishes, concerns about my dog, and concerns about my family. I coach her through her challenges and share her accomplishments, and it's become an absolute joy. I've worked in the nonprofit space for over 15 years, and we are always trying to reassure our donors that there's a positive ROI. And we want to reassure our volunteers that the outcomes are measurable and they're always positive. I can tell you that Student Partner Alliance ROI and outcomes are guaranteed. The partner schools are remarkable, and the staff at the agency, at SPA itself, is dedicated. And these kids graduate, and we know that's an economic imperative today. High school is the foundation of self-sufficiency, so the results are critical. If you enjoy young adults and if you believe in education, consider taking on a mentoring role, and consider doing it through SPA. All the heavy lifting is done for you. I had to just show up. I had to care about grades. I had to be consistent in my communications. But all the heavy lifting, the organization, the bagels, it's all done for you. I want to let you know that for me, meeting Asia and having her in my life has been a joy. It's been a wonderful bond with a terrific kid. There's such a quiet satisfaction in watching her grow. There's such a delight in knowing she's starting a new chapter in September in college, and her dream is now my dream. If any of you are thinking about being a partner, jump in, because there is a terrific 8th grader waiting for you. And I know they may be a chatterbox or they may be shy, but they're terrific, and they could use some mentoring. I'm just going to close with my last breakfast at Marist. I walked into my 8th breakfast, and it was the last one, and there were just hugs. Asia and I were hugging each other, and we immediately sat down and started doing what we need to do, which was chat. She told me about the colleges she'd gotten into, and she was really eager. She was excited to say she'd gotten into Temple University with a nice financial package, but she'd never seen it. Road trip. So on a Saturday morning 3 weeks ago, I picked her up at 6:45. Now that's early for me, but it is brutally early for a teenager. And she slept the entire ride down to Philly. But it was a wonderful day, 3,000 admitted students, a fantastic diversity. She met the dean of the medical school, who was an African-American woman. She went to a science and technology seminar. She toured the dorms. She saw rooms she loved. She saw rooms she was horrified by. And she finally, around 2 o'clock, I could tell, she was ready. She really wanted to say, this is where I want to go. I said, call your mom. Run it through. Check it out with her. Now, her mom, I didn't know this, had given her $450 in cash to make a deposit to hold her spot. She had that in her pocket. She called her mom, and she decided to make a commitment. So we ran over to there were 3,000 kids there. We ran to the housing office, which is first come, first serve. She signed up on the computer, and she became a Temple Owl. She was thrilled, and so was I. It's been a privilege getting to know Asia, and for playing a small role in her development throughout high school. It's been an honor, and I'm just grateful to have her presence in my life. As we walked back to the car on this beautiful sunny day in Philly, she turned to me and she said, thanks, this has been a great day. And I looked at her and said, thanks, this has been a great day. And we drove home, and she slept the entire way. So thank you very much.
We have a number of really special people here tonight representing sponsors, partners, and mentors, past, present, and future. So it's thanks to all of you that these very special kids have a chance for hope and achieving their dreams. Thank you for coming.